Would you go to these shows on the Sunset Strip and get into these clubs?
Yeah, when, you know, like around 13, 14, 15 years old, I used to make these fake IDs. You know, you used to be able to get away with it with a pencil.
Right. And
so I was pretty good at it, so we got into the whiskey and the Roxy and the Starwood. Remember the Starwood?
No, I didn't live here. I was in Vegas, so I remember the Stardust. But
and
yeah,
the Rainbow. The Rainbow was the hardest one, actually.
It was why they were the toughest.
Well, because you really had to. I mean, you think you got balls of steel when you're 15 years old. You think, okay, I've got a fake ID, and you can just walk up and it'll work like everywhere else. But they had this guy named Steady at the door. So he was, yeah, and he was a hardcore Italian, you know, bouncer type. So he'd be looking for it. And there was one time I actually went to the Rainbow with Steve Adler, right, who was my partner in crime back when we were 14 and 15 years old. And we went in there, and so I showed him the ID, and Steven showed him his ID, which I had done for him too. And they let Steven in, and they wouldn't let me in. They said, "Get out of here." And I was just crushed. So I went home, and I put on a bunch of makeup, and put on some of my mom's clothes, and I was really drunk. You have to understand. And I went back up there, and it was ladies' night. That's what it was. So I went back and I got in, right? And the whole thing of it for me was I was going to go and pick up on Steven because Steven would screw anything, and I thought it'd be really funny, you know. And then anyway, so I got in, right? And then slowly but surely I started to realize Steven's not here. He's gone. And this whole black cloud of reality came down. I felt the most vulnerable I'd ever felt.
Wow.
Still to this day, I've never felt like that. And then having to leave and then walk down Sunset Boulevard in a dress back to my car.
You probably could have made some money.
Wow,
yeah.
I thought, you know, anything that sounded like a whistle or anybody raising their voice or anything I thought was directed at me, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be